This is lesson 19-2, looking at data sets. Our essential question, how can you describe a data distribution? So in this picture right here, we just have 3 different types of data sets. So those are some things that we might see as we go along. We have 2 vocab words, data distribution, which is how data values are arranged, and an outlier is an extreme value with few data points located near it. Example number 1. So it looks like we have temperatures plotted here on a number line. And our question is, what is the least temperature and the greatest temperature? Now the x's over here show how many times the temperature occurs. So for example, 70 occurs 2 times. Okay, so the least temperature, I'm just going to put an L for least, you can write it out if you'd like, would be the one I just circled, 70 degrees. It is the lowest temperature on this number line. And the greatest temperature is going to be 78. Now, I know you might have thought the greatest temperature would be 80 because that's where the number line ends, but we don't have any x's there. Our x that is the greatest is over the 78. It's the last number that has an x. Okay, we have the same exact data plot here for our next question, which is about where is the center of the data? So of course the center means in the middle. So we're going to start with our greatest and our least and kind of count down until we get to the middle. So I'm going to take one of the greatest, one of the least. And I'm going to keep going one from each side until I find one that is about in the middle. Now it doesn't have to be exact because they said about. So I ended up with just one x left over 72 degrees. So I would say that is about the center of our data. Example number 3, are there any outliers and how do you know? So remember, outliers are going to be some kind of data that is pretty much just farther away from the other ones. That's an easy way to explain it. So even though 78 is kind of by itself out here and we might think that it's an outlier, it is actually not because it's not too far away. It's only 2 away from 76. So that's not really that far when we were counting. Now, if the x was all the way over here by 80 and there was nothing on 78, we might say that's an outlier because it's pretty far away from the rest of the numbers. So in this case, no, because 78 degrees is not too far. Let me erase that. Is not too far from the other data. So that would be our explanation. And here is your practice problem. We only had 3 examples there because this is pretty much covered everything that we're going to be doing in this lesson. Talking about greatest and least, center of data, and talking about outliers. So here is your table, and all you have to do is make a dot plot. So you're making it just like the 3 examples that we saw. Okay, so kind of think about it this way. The numbers here on this side are going to be like the number line that we saw. And these numbers here are going to be how many x's that you have. So we call it a dot plot, but you can go ahead and make it look exactly like the ones from the 3 examples. Don't forget a word problem or question and rate your understanding.